A lot of people have chosen to work from home. They knew these strikes were going to be taking place and they've changed their plans accordingly. But of course, a lot of people have to get to work. They have to be there in person. And these strikes that are taking place today are going to cause absolute chaos around the capital. We've got almost the entire network is suspended for today, which is going to have an impact tomorrow. London Overground and the Elizabeth line are still operating, although that is still a reduced service at certain times. But the real impact we're going to see is on the roads, particularly those who are fortunate enough to drive around the capital or those who are going to get on the bus. Now, I'm just by King's Cross Station, not, of course, one of the busiest stations in London. I'm just going to show you here some of the people who are queuing for the buses. We've got two bus stops here, and people here, a lot of them have been waiting for a considerable amount of time. A number of them saying to me that they're going to be incredibly late for work. And I think with all these things, there's always just an element of confusion. I've been here for over an hour, and people are on their phones desperately trying to work out how they're going to get to work because their normal route is so disrupted. I was speaking with some commuters just a short while ago about their journeys and the strikes, and this is what they had to say.
I work with children, and it's imperative and important that I get there, and especially for young children, I get there on time for familiarity and the daily routine. So yes, it's not convenient at all.
It's already been an hour and I have no idea when the next bus is coming either, and they've all been absolutely packed as well, so it's taken half an hour to even find a bus.
Yeah, I think given the news recently about the nurses, teachers, university lecturers, strikes are very much in the air at the moment, aren't they? And I think that's understandable considering the cost of living pressures that you mentioned, but also just a sense that the progress is being made in the support coming out from central government. The economy just seems to be going from crisis to crisis, so I don't think people are seeing a light at the end of the tunnel.
Those were some of the commuters speaking to me today. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is in fact the sixth strike which has taken place by staff on the London Underground. Why? Well, it's about a long-running dispute really about pensions. Ultimately, TfL have had a huge shortfall in funding because of the pandemic, really. Of course, that's the normal way they get their revenues, people getting on the tube. But that obviously wasn't able to happen during the pandemic. So the government bailed out TfL multiple times, billions and billions of pounds. But as part of that, the government sort of turned around to TfL and said, really, you've got to get your own house in order. And one of the aspects that they are wanting to sort of target is the very generous pension scheme which TfL staff have. So for whatever you put in, they put in 6 times that. So it's a very generous final salary, far more generous than, say, the Met Police or the London Fire Service. And then the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, he commissioned an independent report into the pensions about 2 years ago. And this independent report said it was outdated, that it was inexpensive, and that it was in need of modernisation. But of course, TfL staff are very keen to keep this generous salary, and they're concerned about any cuts to that, particularly in a cost of living crisis. It's in a very expensive city. People who are working here, commuting here, and have planned to have this salary, this final salary, will be keen to maintain it. And there's also concerns about the potential of 600 jobs being cut as well. Now, TfL say that's not going to end up with people having job cuts, but staff do say it will mean that station staff will be more stretched. They may have to go to different branches further away from their home, and they may have more unsociable working hours. So that's the conundrum, and I think the real concern is this has been going on for a number of months, almost years now, and it feels like there's no resolution yet. This is the 6th strike this year, and it's impacting, of course, so many commuters around the capital.